A cop car drives down an empty road. Officer Rick Grimes will get out and search for gas. Rick sees a little girl that's been infected and shoots her in the head. We flash back to see Rick and Shane talking in their car until they get a call about a high-speed chase. They lay out spike traps and the suspect's car rolls off the road. One of the suspects shoots Rick, but he had a bulletproof vest on, catching the bullet. He tells Shane never to tell Lori that happened, but then he got shot for real. When he wakes up, Shane is talking to him, but when he replies, Shane is gone. No one's at the front desk either, but he is able to find a match for a little bit of light. Rick walks around the hospital and he finds a door that said "Don't open," dead inside. Some fingers start poking through the door, seeming to try to get out. He exits the hospital and all he sees is rows of dead bodies. Rick walks down the street finding a bike and walker that's been cut in half, and he takes the bike to ride home, discovering his family is gone. He gets hit in the face by Dwayne. He wakes up and we get introduced to Morgan. Rick stays the night and the next day Rick gets his first walker kill. Rick and Morgan head to the police station to get guns before going their separate ways. Rick tried to contact our people with the broadcast. A group hears it but cannot get a hold of Rick. Rick runs out of gas, so he goes to look for some help. But when he gets to the house, I don't think they will be much help. Rick will find a horse and will slowly approach it, and now he continues on his way to Atlanta on the new horse. He makes it to Atlanta before running into a herd of walkers and getting knocked off his horse. The horse is eaten while Rick is able to escape in a tank. And Rick hears a voice on the radio.
Yeah, you in the tank.
And we see that Shane and Lori have got together since Rick has been in a coma and the apocalypse started. The voice asked if he has anything, and he goes to see what weapons he has. The man's voice tells him that he has a pretty good shot of getting out because most of the walkers are feeding on the horse. Rick makes a break for it, killing a walker on his way out. Rick makes a break for it down the street, killing as many walkers as he can. Rick meets the guy he heard over the radio and they run down this alleyway, escaping by climbing the fire escape. Glenn leads Rick to his group. We have Morales, Jackie, T-Dog, and the one holding the gun to Rick is Andrea. They show him that walkers have surrounded the store. They hear shooting on the roof. We then get introduced to Merle Dixon as he's sniping walkers on the roof. The rest of the group runs up and confronts Merle, which will lead with Merle pointing a gun at T-Dog until Rick intervenes and handcuffs Merle to a drainage pipe. After discussing what should be done next, they see a construction site and get the idea of taking one of the trucks, but they need to get through the walker herd first. The walkers break through the first glass of the door. They chop up a walker and cover guts on Glenn and Rick so they might be able to sneak through the walker herd. Keep a watch on Rick and Glenn as T-Dog tried to get a hold of the group. The radio's still not working. Shane said that they're not going to go rescue them. Rick and Glenn are walking through the herd when it starts to rain. The rain starts to wash off the blood, and the walkers start to notice that they are different. So Rick is forced to kill one of them before they sprint to the truck. They quickly is able to get away, and Glenn steals a sports car to distract the walkers. The group starts to leave, but T-Dog returns to try to give Merle the key, but ends up dropping it. T-Dog locks the door so Walker can't get to him. Then they all escape in the truck. Merle tried to escape as the walkers tried to break through the door. Rick reunites with his son Carl and his wife Lori. Rick thanks Shane. The next morning, Carl yelled for his parents and they find a walker feasting on a deer. Dale cuts off the walker's head, and we get introduced to Daryl Dixon. He finds out Rick left his brother on the roof, and they get into a fight. Shane stops it. Rick decides they'll go get Merle and the guns. T-Dog and Glenn will tag along. Lori will yell at Shane because he told her Rick was dead. Ed slaps Carol, and Shane beats him up over and over and over again, and he threatens him, saying he will kill him if he touches his daughter or wife again. The group in Atlanta discovered that Merle cut off his own hand. Dale sees that Jim is digging some holes. They discover that Merle cauterized the wound before climbing out a window. Shane seduces Jim. After getting the guns, Glenn gets attacked and taken away, but Daryl captured one of them. Rick got his hat back. Rick goes to the captured thugs group. The leader said that if they give him the guns, then Glenn can go. The group head back to load up. They deliver the captured member, but said they're not give up the guns, and all of a sudden, before a shootout begins, a grandma appears. She takes them back to a nursing home, and they reunite with Glenn. They give the group a few guns for protection, and then return to their van, but Merle stole it. Jim reveals he had a dream. That night, Ed wakes up, and he gets attacked by a walker. Amy also got attacked and bit by a walker. The group defends the camp as Rick and the rest of the group show up and kill the rest of the walkers. Amy dies in Andrea's arm. Jim remembers why he digged the graves. Andrea is still grieving her sister, as the group buries their friends and burns the walkers. Jim's been bit. The group discuss what to do next. Daryl walks away to make sure the dead ones are really dead, and Carol walks over and finishes off Ed. Amy finally turns, and Andrea sheds a few tears before putting her down. Rick makes one final message to Morgan telling him that they're going to CDC. The RV breaks down, and Jim makes a decision. He tells them to leave him on the side of the road. The group makes it to the CDC and see bodies all over the grounds. They get ready to leave, but Rick sees a camera move and he begs to be let in. Before they leave, the door opens. We see a flashback of Shane trying to get Rick out of the hospital. He's unable to, so he blocks off the door before escaping. Back at the present, we meet Dr. Jenner. The group celebrates before Shane asks where the other doctors are, but it's kinda obvious they're dead. He drunkenly tried to tell Lori why he thought Rick has died before forcing himself on her. She scratches him and he runs out. The next day, the group notices the scratches and he says he must have done it in his sleep. Dr. Jenner shows the group a recording of someone that's been infected. Dale notices a timer and it's revealed that that's for decontamination and the place will blow up. The group starts to freak out and Dr. Jenner shut the doors. It's revealed that that subject was his wife. Rick asks for a chance and Dr. Jenner opens the door and the group all runs out. Jackie and Andrea decide to stay behind and Dale tried to convince her. The group tried to break the glass and Carol remembers the grenade she took from Rick's pants and everyone gets out, even Andrea and Dale. The place blows up and that's the end of season 1. The group will continue on their way. Where will they go next? Find out next week on season 2.